Hello, my name is Steve Penner, owner of Money Ledgers and ProLedgers.com. Welcome to this video on a quick start with the Pro Ledger online program. We're just going to briefly cover three main points. First of all, how to create a brand new bookkeeping file, how to, just do general things in the program, and also how to make entries. The specifics on some of these things are already covered in other videos, but this will just be a quick overview just to get you started. And as you go along, you can certainly visit our FAQ page of our website for more specific videos on various topics. But within a few minutes, you'll be able to create a file and start making your entries after watching this video. All right, let's talk about creating a brand new file from scratch. So the first time you log into the online system, you're going to notice two options: upload a legacy file or create a brand new file. This one, upload legacy file, is useful for current desktop software users of the Pro Ledger's desktop version. If you're working and you are a current customer and you want to get into the cloud and off the desktop version, you can use this to simply upload whatever file you have currently, and you'll be able to work on it in this cloud. But anyway, if you're not a current customer or you don't want to upload any files from the old versions, then just create a brand new file by clicking on Create a New File. You then can give it a file name, which you can change at any point in the future, but so just call it whatever you like. You can put in a file description if you like, it's optional. And then you can choose your file type. Now, we've created different file types for different types of users. And if you have, if you're an agent or owner operator, truck driver or landlord, freelancer, you can choose and it'll automatically set up a very useful set of accounts and chart of accounts that you could just simply use and probably not even edit it, but you could edit it if you like. So anyway, let's say we're just going to go with something generic. We're just going to call it, choose the general business type. Then we choose our tax type. Now, depending on your business, if you do not charge any kind of sales tax and don't need to track any input taxes, you can choose no tax. And this is popular with landlords. You don't charge typically rent taxes on your rent. So, in other types of businesses where there's no taxation involved. Now, if you're in a business with one input tax, let's say it's HST or GST or VAT, and you need to claim that tax, and you can also claim back the input expenses, the tax part, and then choose one tax. Or if you have two taxes to claim and remit to the government, choose two tax. So let's go with one tax in this example. Once you've chosen and set this up like that, you can choose Create. And before you do that, I should mention that once you choose your ledger type and your tax type, you won't be able to change these two after the file is created. You'd have to create a brand new file if you wanted something like that changed. So but the first file name and the description can be changed anytime. Okay, so let's choose Create. And it's just going to process for a few seconds. And here you go. You've just created your first bookkeeping file. And at the top, you can see that it says the screen name, which is the record screen. You can choose to different screens along the left side. And it always tells you the screen name here that you're on. It gives you your file name here. And this is you, the customer name that you've got your name, whatever you've set up your account as over here. And then we simply can see the Add Record button right here. All right, so let's just give you a quick tour, and then we're going to make a bookkeeping entry. As I mentioned, along the left side, you can see a dashboard button, which will, once you've got some entries, it'll populate with graphs and some handy financial snapshots. You have your records, which means all your bookkeeping entries will be listed here, and you can choose how many entries you want to see per page. Reports, you're going to see various reports along the left side. Setup, you can set up your accounts, your classes, your taxes, and your income and expense categories and pre-written descriptions. Tools, there's going to be tools here for printing. You can change the theme or the color of the program, and you can choose the files that you want to work on. You can have multiple files here, and you see I've already created one before, but I'm going to continue with the one I'm using now. And you can also keep notes. So if you're missing a statement or you want to create a note, you can just simply create a note and multiple notes depending on what you want to do, just to track your own thoughts here. All right, so that's a quick overview. And across the top, I should also add that there's a way to search your records by description or by total, by tax, by net. And you can also filter your records by any date, range, accounts, class, and you can have multiple layered filters here, which will filter out your reports and also filter out records. And we'll get into that in other videos. This is just a short video to get you started. All right, so if you're not going to make any changes to your accounts or your setup, and if you do, we can watch our video on how to do that. Then we can simply go back to our record screen and add a record, which means make an entry. So this is going to be quick, and we have other videos on how to create certain types of entries if there's something that you had in mind that's more specific. But let's just get started generally speaking. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose the type of entry. So if it's, say it's an income entry, and let's say it's for business, and you could say a business income or other income. So let's just call it business income there. Now, where's that income going to go? Let's say it's going to go into my savings account. Type in the description, the sale. Yeah, we could call it whatever you want. The item name, for example, or the customer name. And if you want to do that, John Doe sale, then you can later do a report by John Doe, and we'll show you that in another video. And then we can type in the amount. And is there GST, or is it GST and PST? You can choose that there. You can adjust the tax if it's a custom amount. And then you can add a receipt or an invoice by clicking on that button, and you'll be able to choose a PDF or an image file from your computer. Once you've got that filled out, you can just print submit. Now, if this happens to be a repetitive entry, let's say your customer is paying you $2,300 a month, then you can simply go to our repeating entry box and choose, this is for May, and also he's going to be making this payment to us in June, and you can set that up as a repeating entry or delete these entries as well. So anyway, we're just going to call it one entry for now. We're going to submit it. Okay, so we close the screen. You can see that there's your bookkeeping entry right there. And then if you go to reports, you can see that there's a report on business income item. If you go to dashboard, you can see that something's come up in April. And if you go back to reports, you can click on the line and it takes you to the entry for that line. So let's do one more entry. Let's say it's an expense this time, and it's general business, and it's, let's say, online promo. Let's say it's for Visa, and let's just say it's for, a Google ad. And if I want to save this description to use it in another entry, instead of having to type it every time, choose the add button here. You see, next time I have a online promo expense, it'll give me the option just simply to choose Google Ad instead of typing it. And then we're going to have a $250 expense. It's got one tax associated with it, and we're not going to attach an invoice. And you can see on the right side how it's populating. It's showing you the total less the GST, gives you the net amount. And you can add another item let's say you had an invoice with multiple entries, you could actually add another entry to this particular total. Nonetheless, well, that's another video. So let's just keep it simple and choose submit. Okay, so now you can see that we've got you can clear our filter here, and you can see you've got two entries. Okay, so now if you go back to the dashboard, you can see that there's an expense and a revenue. And in our report, you can see there's a expense and a revenue and a net income, and you're all set to go. So anyway, you would just continue making entries just as we described, and then later if you want to search for a certain item, here we go, Google Ad, or for a certain date range, you can do all these things with the filters at the top. Anyway, I hope that's enough to get you started. Everything auto saves, so there's nothing to do in terms of saving. You will simply just be able to just do your work, and it saves for you. When you double click on an entry, you can then edit the entry, and you can scroll through the entries that are displayed on your screen. and it's that simple to make edits. All right, I hope you found that helpful to get you started. And be sure to check out our other videos on our website under our FAQ section for other short tips and tricks and things that you can do. Have a great day.